outside to talk about sealant. Lots of people have different opinions on some subjects, so I figured the safest thing to do was to talk about this outside. So first of all, I need to get this straight. I am no expert, I'm not a scientist, I'm no bike mechanic, and I am definitely not a pro rider. I'm your average, normal, everyday mountain biker, and that is the only qualification that I have to talk about this subject. However, what I do want to do is tell you that I have used Stan's, Muck Off and Peaty's. I've used all three of these in 4 bikes altogether, and here is the secret. Gather round. All three of these, they work. Every single one of them. Get a hole in your tyre and Muck Off, Peaty's, Stan's, it will plug the hole. It will. They all work. You're surprised. Well, each one of these brands has spent millions, maybe even billions of pounds, dollars, euros, pesos, whatever, in research and development, and they have corporate and personal reputations at stake, so they have to work. Why would you actually put something on the market and sell it and says that it seals a tyre if it didn't do that? So guess what? They all work. There we go. Doombar works as well. Probably like every single one of you out there, I started with Stan's. I used this in a full suspension bike, Peatys Sealant, for about 2 years, and at the same time I used it in my NS Surge hardtail. I had that bike for 3 years. I could find some stats to say how far I rode or whatever, but as I've said a bit earlier on, I'm a pretty average mountain biker. I get out a couple of times a week, I go away a few times a year, go to trail centres, absolutely no problem. It's kind of become the industry standard and people won't go away from it. I'm not sure that it quite cuts the mustard these days, and a lot of people I'm hearing are using what they call the race sealant. It's a bit more expensive, fine, it works fine, but Stan's and on their own website they say you should check it every 2 weeks. So to me that says designed for short-term use and probably dries up very quickly. I've never used it myself. I don't want something that I've got to check every 2 weeks. As far as I'm concerned, I want tubeless sealant to be fit and forget, or at least fit and forget for a while, not fit and check in 2 weeks time. So if you want your race sealant, fine, you carry on with it, but that's not for me. So about 14-15 months ago I bought a new bike and I set that one up with the full Peaty setup. So I've got sealant, I've got the rim tape or rim job, and the valves. So Peaty's works, can't fault it. It looks good and I've had no issues with it at all. Can't complain. It's had a bit of bad press, I'll be honest. I think the first formulas that came out were a little, perhaps a little thin. They were drying up quickly. People tend not to forget, unfortunately, but I would urge you to go and give it another try. Got no problems with that at all. So that's in my hardtail. In my full suspension, in my white, for the last year or so, I've been running Muck Off. So I've got Muck Off tubeless sealant in there, and I've also got the Muck Off valves. And guess what? That works as well. I can't complain about it. Smells nice too. So yeah, got no issues really. So yeah, so Stan's, yeah, I don't know if this stuff goes off. Is there a shelf life on them? Maybe somebody's going to tell me down below if there is. But these are the ones I've got currently running in 2 bikes, and I've got no problems with them. I ride the Marin all the time. At the moment, with the current sort of lockdown, I've probably been riding that bike 3 times a week. I'm getting out loads on it and just running Peaty's. And to be honest, this stuff's great. No complaints, no problems. One sort of advantage that might be worth considering is you've got this onto your valve and squeeze it in. Now the Muck Off one has a straight on valve, which isn't necessarily that easy to squeeze in between spokes. The Peaty's one, much more handy. You've got one on the side, so that means, as you can clearly see there, this are your spokes. You can actually get that in to the side rather than having to squeeze vertically. So my choice, Peaty's, because Peaty, why not? It's good enough for the syndicate, it's good enough for me. If you've got any questions, pop them below. I am sure you want to fight it out, so just go for it, and I'll try and answer the questions, or I'll get one of my people to answer the questions, because I'm far too busy.